Hello and welcome to this special Foster Care Institute training webinar. Foster Parent Recruitment, creating a strong recruitment program for strong foster families. This is part of a series of special training webinars for those foster care agencies who are focused upon recruiting new foster parents. If you've not watched the previous webinars, I encourage you to watch those before you continue with this webinar. This foster parent recruitment webinar is Community Outreach and Recruitment, and I am your host, Dr. John DeGarmo, the founder and director of the Foster Care Institute, and I also serve as an international trainer, consultant, and speaker for foster care agencies and child welfare programs and foster parent associations across the globe. And of course, I'm an author of several books about foster care as well. If you know a little bit about me, then you know that my wife and I are heavily invested in our community. My previous background, I have been a teacher, both in Australia and throughout the United States. My wife has been heavily involved in community organizations across the globe. And of course, we both met in a nonprofit community involvement group called Up With People, where we would go into communities and do volunteer work. So we're both very, very aware of the opportunities that your agency has to recruit people who are community minded. Our goal during this webinar is to create strong relationships with leaders and organizations in your community in regards to strengthening the recruitment of new foster parents. And our key objectives are to increase the awareness of how others in your community can aid in that recruitment process, and of course to gain an understanding of how to develop and implement strategies designed to create partnerships with those in your community, all regarding recruitment. Make no mistake, there are so many opportunities in your community for you to promote foster parenting. There are many opportunities for you to not only promote foster parenting in your community, but to create strong partnerships with local businesses and organizations. And these opportunities are especially strong during the months of April, during the months of May and November, which of course are National Child Abuse Prevention Month, National Foster Care Awareness Month, and National Adoption Awareness Month. As we have seen throughout these webinars, the power of social media, people love to consume their information and be entertained visually. And that includes the power of a picture or an image. So consider a visual display at your local shopping mall in your area. Shopping malls across the nation allow nonprofit organizations such as yourself to set up displays inside their complex at no cost as a service to the community. This is a great way for your agency to display pictures of foster parents and of children. Now, of course, privacy laws may prevent you from showing the faces of children placed in foster care, so instead you can simply have pictures of smiling children. You can also have large cardboard cutouts of families together in display, along, of course, with information about becoming a foster parent in your community and with your agency. So have plenty of brochures available with your agency's contact information. You know, your local Chamber of Commerce is a great place for you to promote. Your local Chamber of Commerce may also offer the same service, an opportunity to set up a display, perhaps in their lobby. The same applies for your public library. If so, again, make sure you have plenty of literature, information, and brochures available for people to pick up as they walk by your displays. As noted earlier, personally and publicly thank the director or managers of your shopping mall, your Chamber of Commerce, your public library, and if they should agree to help you with this project. Give them a shout out, if you will, a public thank you on your social media sites, your websites, as well as for their partnership. They need to hear a big thank you from you. You can use your local businesses in your community. They have the opportunity, of course, to partner with you and help children in foster care in your area. So approach your local businesses with knowledge about the need for more foster parents in your area, in their area, in the business's area, and that they can have help in helping to create a foster parent recruitment program in your community. They can help children in crisis in their community, in their neighborhoods, right where those businesses are at, by partnering with you. Stress to these businesses that they can make a difference. They can make a difference right now, today, for children who are being abused, neglected, and abandoned by simply partnering with your agency. And there's a number of things that those businesses can do. Let's look at those. Ask your local grocery store to place an advertisement for foster parenting in the advertising area of their grocery carts. Along with this, ask them if they will place advertisements about foster parenting in their grocery bags. Ask your local doctor's office, clinics, and hospitals if they would have promotional material about foster parenting in their offices and receptions or waiting rooms. We all love pizza. I know I do. Ask local pizza delivery businesses if your agency's flyers and brochures could be placed in the pizza boxes during delivery. Ask if your local restaurants would place information about foster parenting in their placements and their menus. Ask if local sports teams can place your information in their programs, and if an announcement can be made during each sporting event about becoming a foster or an adoptive parent, and to see your agency with it. Maybe they could do this during halftime, or between quarters, or between innings, depending, of course, upon the type of sporting event. And those faith-based organizations that you've reached out to and you're now partnering with, ask local churches and faith organizations if they could print your information in their church programs or even include your brochures in them. Businesses today are waiting to work with you. They're waiting for an opportunity to do some community involvement because it looks good for their business, it helps their business. They're looking for you. In 2008, the National Foster Parent Association, known as the NFPA, created an event called Walk Me Home. This event was begun an attempt by the NFPA to bring more attention and support to foster care during National Foster Care Awareness Month. These fundraising events are held across the United States and are hosted by the NFPA, the National Foster Parent Association. Walk Me Home events garner considerable attention and media awareness. Your agency has the opportunity to help sponsor a Walk Me Home event in your area and to partner alongside the National Foster Parent Association. Contact the NFPA and ask them whether or not a Walk Me Home event is being held in your state and in your area in the near future. If so, ask if you can help sponsor the event. Not only will it help you bring more awareness to foster care and the National Foster Parent Association, you will also help to bring more attention to your own foster care agency and recruitment program. There are so many community leaders and organizations who are looking for some type of nonprofit to hitch themselves to partner alongside. And we need to celebrate those community leaders. At the same time, we need to work alongside them. Teachers and educators, legislators and lawmakers, civic organizations, cultural groups, all these categories have the opportunity to support your agency and children in need in your own community. There are opportunities for recruitment in all these categories as well. Before I was a foster parent, I was a teacher, and I recognized, as soon as I became a foster parent, I recognized what children in foster care are going through. But beforehand, before I was a foster parent, I didn't really appreciate it. I didn't really understand it. That's where today's teachers are. Your agency needs to recognize teachers in schools in your community and how they can positively affect children in foster care right where you live. Indeed, the school is a wonderful field to recruit new foster parents, future foster parents, as today's teachers may see the need for foster parents every day in their own classroom. To be sure, teachers are great candidates as foster parents. 8 hours a day or more, and for 5 days a week for more of a calendar year, a child in foster care will spend his time in a school. More time than any place else, they're going to be spending it in school. Indeed, children in foster care will most likely spend more of their time each day with teachers than with the foster parents. As we have seen, though, many children in foster care would rather be any place other than school. We've seen that in several webinars here at the Foster Care Institute, and of course in the book, Helping Foster Children in School. School is a constant reminder to these children that they are a foster child. Without a doubt, teachers and school employees have the opportunity to help children in foster care in a unique and positive way. Sadly, many children in foster care have never had a positive adult role model in their life. Along with this, they've never had the encouragement from a caring adult either. There was no one the child could talk to. No one has told them they were doing a good job. No one lifting up in praise. No one telling them the sky is the limit. Quite simply, there was no one who believed in that child. Instead, these children were yelled at and cursed at by adults in their lives for long periods of day, never expected to work on their schoolwork, discouraged at every attempt to succeed, and belittled and ridiculed by those who were supposed to have loved them the most. To be sure, foster parents and caseworkers have the opportunity to be a caring and positive role model in the child's life, but the child again is going to spend more time with his teacher than any other adult. Therefore, teachers should be as encouraging as possible to children in foster care. Yet, it is the teachers who are great candidates. Great candidates for foster parenting. Teachers are such good candidates for foster parents, and as they care for the children in their own classrooms, you need to reach out to the leaders in your school system. Most likely this will be the principals of each school, including both private and public schools, and you need to ask them to set up a time to teach with teachers. Share with them the number of children in foster care in your community, and if possible, break down the figures by age groups, and share how many of these children would be possible in that particular school regarding age groups in that school. How many children in that large age group might be in that school? Share with them also the challenges that children in foster care face, particularly in regards to high academic rate, high academic issues, high absenteeism, behavioral challenges, dropout rate. In addition, as you did with faith-based organizations, ask if you can simply take a few minutes to meet with the teachers and faculty, perhaps one day during a faculty meeting. Hey, teachers are busy. Faculty members are busy, just like you're busy. As teachers and faculty members are often very busy with those responsibilities, they will not appreciate a long meeting or presentation from you. Keep your presentation short, perhaps between 15 to 30 minutes at length. Share with the teachers and faculty information on why children are placed in foster care, the realities they face when they are being moved from one home to another, and then from one school to another. Again, before I was a foster parent, I didn't appreciate this information. I didn't understand it, and most teachers don't understand this. They need you and your agency to share with them this information, to open up their eyes, open up their hearts. Discuss with them that they, as teachers, have the opportunity to make an immediate impact upon these children in crisis, both as an advocate for the student and as a foster parent. Take time to dispel some of the myths about foster parenting, like being single, being home, etc., etc. If there is a teacher or a school employee that is a foster parent in that school, ask them to briefly share their own story as a foster parent. Finally, in your presentation, by letting those in attendance know that they can find more information about becoming a foster parent from you, and by thanking the school principal for the opportunity. Along with this, make sure you also thank the teachers for all that they do, noting that they have a very difficult job. Let them know that you appreciate they have a difficult job, and that you appreciate all they do for children in your community. Of course, have your agency's brochures, pamphlets, booklets, etc. available on a table, and by all means, make sure you make yourself available for any questions a teacher might have afterwards. And if they have any questions, invite them to that next foster parent training session you have, or pre-session, or any foster parent event you might have. Get down there, take down their information, their phone numbers, their emails, their contact information, so you can reach out to them later on. Now, one organization within schools that might be able to assist you in promoting foster parenting, and maybe even on a recruitment basis, is your local school's Parent-Teacher Association, or PTA as it is often known. A PTA is a formal organization composed of parents, teachers, and school staff with a goal of facilitating parental involvement within a school. When you host your information meeting at the school, reach out to the school's PTA and invite them to attend as well. Ask them if they would like to help host the event, reminding them that these are children in crisis in that school, in their school, who do not have any type of parental involvement, and that the PTA can be a great advocate for these children. Finally, ask your local schools may help you by publishing articles and information about foster care and foster parent recruiting in their teacher and PTA newsletters, as well as emails. So ask that PTA director, ask that school principal if they would kindly share your information in the newsletter and the emails. And most likely, they're going to say yes, because it's again centered around helping children in their community and in their schools. We read story after story of both local and state legislators and elected officials being strong advocates of change for the foster care system in that state, as well as for the children. Many times, these elected officials have been touched some way emotionally by a personal story of a child or of a family they might know. Your agency has a wonderful opportunity to create a strong partnership and advocacy team with the local lawmakers and elected officials in your own community. After all, these are people who are often in the news in your area, in the spotlight, so to speak, and who have the occasion to bring foster parenting to the forefront of the news. Your community's elected officials have the platform of public voice, and thus have the platform to share what your agency is doing and the need for more foster parents. As is often the case, they simply need to become aware of the need for more foster parents and the truth surrounding foster care in general. After all, some of your local elected officials may believe falsely the misconceptions that daily unfold foster care. When you bring awareness and interest about foster parenting and foster care to your local officials and general elected lawmakers, they may become a very vocal advocate for foster care and a vocal advocate for your agency as well, as they bring attention to something that they feel is important. Your local elected officials can become strong partners with you and use their own power of influence through local media about foster care and foster parenting. A great time to speak before your local elected officials at meetings is in May, during National Foster Care Month. If you're unable to do so in May, during that time, then April is another good month during National Child Abuse Awareness Month, or in November during National Adoption Month. All three of these months allow you to bring awareness to something that is already in the news. Just as beforehand with your faith-based organizations and schools, you can ask for time to speak before a city council or a county commissioners meeting, sharing a similar presentation you did with the previous two organizations. When you do, you need to ensure that your presentation is short, as you will most likely not have an allotted amount of time that you can present. Share statistics and information about the number of children placed in your own community, and a brief reminder of why a child might be placed in foster care in general. And as you did with the other two groups, relay that there is a need for advocates for these children in your community and for foster parenting, for foster parents. When you're speaking to those local officials at that city council or county commissioners meeting, let them know that there's a strong need for foster parents right where they live. Now, one way to bring awareness to foster care and foster parenting is by hosting an open house for your local elected officials. Invite both your current and prospective foster parents to be part of it, and share some of their stories as foster parents with your local legislators. Not only does this allow for your legislators some time to learn more about foster care and the challenges they face in their own community, it also allows them to meet and listen with their constituents. This open house shines a positive light on your agency and recruitment program and helps you to form a healthy working relationship and partnership with the local elected officials. Local service clubs, volunteer organizations, fraternal societies, and even veteran posts. They all fall under the category of civic groups. Civic groups and organizations often focus on giving back to their community, your community, mainly through a variety of volunteer services. Along with this, many civic groups also help their communities by raising funds for charities and nonprofit organizations that help others. Indeed, there are several community groups across the nation that focus upon helping children. Kiwanis, Rotary, Pilot Club, Masons, Junior League, Lions Club, Big Brothers Big Sisters. These are just a few of the many civic groups and organizations. Civic groups are another avenue and opportunity for you to partner with, not only with helping children in your community, but also in regards to recruiting new foster parents. Civic groups and organizations in your community may partner with you, not only by raising awareness, but also funds, clothing, gifts at Christmas and the holiday season, school supplies, and other avenues. In addition, many civic groups are always looking for a new and different guest speaker at their meetings. Some civic groups meet bi-weekly, while others might meet monthly. Others might meet quarterly or a few times a year. During the civic group meetings, there is oftentimes allotted for a guest speaker. Indeed, I've done this so many times across the country. Whenever I go to a different city or different state to speak at an event, it seems that I'm also speaking at a civic organization in that community that I volunteer to share some time with. This is an opportunity for you not only to bring awareness to them about foster care and the challenges these children face, but also for you to recruit new foster parents as well. After all, civic groups are made up of volunteers, people who are focused upon helping others in some capacity. Speaking at a civic group meeting is similar to doing so at a school or a faith-based organization. Take some time to share with those in attendance insight, information, statistical data about foster care and foster parenting. Talk to them about the need not only for helping children in your community, but also about the need for new foster parents. Perhaps share a story about a local child and family who have benefited from foster care. Take time to answer any questions they might have. Finally, as before, make yourself available for any questions afterwards. And of course, have your agency's brochures, pamphlets, information available for any who might wish additional information. Of course, have a sign-up sheet as well for anyone who might wish to find out more about becoming foster parent with your agency and possibly attend your pre-service training sessions. Perhaps one of your biggest recruitment needs is for families of targeted and specific cultural groups. For some agencies, there is a want and a need for families of Latino descent. For other agencies, it might be of Native American or Alaskan Native descent. Still, other agencies may wish to focus upon finding families of African American descent. In addition, there are those agencies who wish to recruit more families of LGBTQ status or other groups. Finding homes and foster parents for children who may fit into these categories is a challenge that many agencies face in the nation and may be difficult for your agency as well. This is especially so in rural agencies. Your agency may wish to find some cultural challenges. You may face some cultural challenges such as language barriers and religious practices and beliefs when trying to recruit new foster parents. In some areas, you may also find recruitment challenges due to tribal or native cultural practices. Whatever the challenge might be, it is important that you determine which cultural and religious groups and families are needed for the children and community in your area and those in need of foster homes. As we discussed earlier, this is known as targeted recruitment, as you are targeting a specific type of group for your foster parent recruitment needs. A true understanding is necessary of the cultural or religious groups your agency is hoping to partner alongside in order for this type of recruitment, targeting recruitment, to work and to be successful. Indeed, before you even reach out and try to recruit families in regards to cultural groups that are specific to your area, you have to be fully aware and understanding of their beliefs, their practices, their ways of life. Your agency may also have someone who is fluent in other languages, such as Spanish, for Hispanic families as well. So take advantage of their opportunities that they present to you, their strengths. Teachers are great opportunities for you to reach out to and say, won't you be a foster parent for these children who are in your classrooms? Civic organizations and civic groups are wonderful opportunities for you to say this. Won't you partner with our agency to care for the children in your community? Businesses right where you live are waiting for someone like you to say, would you partner with us? Would you work alongside us to help the kids who are suffering right where we live? In all these areas, you have the opportunity not only to bring awareness to your agency, not only to help the foster parents in your area and the children in care, but to recruit new foster parents. Recruit new foster families. For much more on this, visit the Foster Care Institute at drjohndegarmofostercare.com. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Email me with any questions you might have about this webinar or anything in particular that I can be of help to you at drjohndegarmo@gmail.com. Of course, the book, The Foster Parenting Manual, A Practical Guide to Creating a Loving, Safe, and Stable Home, is a great resource, not only for your agency, but for your foster parents. It was designed for your foster parents, whether new foster parents or those who have been doing it for a long time. And you can find so many books at the Foster Care Institute. I'm sure there's a book that right now is a great resource for you and your foster parents and your staff. Hey, I'm excited about this webinar in particular. You have an opportunity right now to reach out to some businesses and say, hey, can you help us with this? Can you put some brochures in your pizza boxes? Can you have a little blurb on your menu or your placemats? Can you help us put the word out about recruiting new foster parents? I'm excited to hear about what you're going to do when you visit those schools and have a little informational meeting, and your civic club organizations, and ask them to partner with you and recruit new foster parents. So many opportunities. I want you to email me and tell me what you're doing and the successes you've had. But most importantly, thank you for all that you are doing and for taking time to watch this webinar. For the Foster Care Institute, I'm Dr. John DeGarmo.